Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. It's Nadia and today we're gonna be doing our bullet journal setup for the month of October. I'm still gonna be using my A5 notebook from Archer and Olive. We're really gonna stretch out this notebook until the end of 2020. And in terms of the colors that we're gonna use for this bullet journal setup, I'm gonna be using the Tombow dual brush pens in the portrait set. This is definitely my most used set from the Tombow sets. I'm also gonna be using another gray pen and a Crayola super tip pen as well. Other than that, we're just going to be using our black and white tools. These are definitely my must-have when it comes to bullet journaling, and as always, everything is going to be linked in the description down below. So for my October cover page setup, I decided to go with a really big drawing of a chocolate bar. I also wanted to add a lot of fun details to the chocolate bar so it's not too plain and boring. One of the first things that I added is have a little piece of the chocolate torn off at the corner. I also wanted the chocolate bar to be half unwrapped, and I also added some splash effect at the bottom to make it look like the chocolate bar was popping out of some chocolate milk or chocolate syrup. And this kind of reminds me of a lot of the chocolate bar ads that I see on TV. I feel like every time I see a chocolate bar ad, they always have a lot of embellishments with a lot of chocolate syrups or chocolate milk splashing everywhere on the screen to really emphasize the chocolate bar. So I really wanted to recreate that look for my October bullet journal cover page. And this cover page was also inspired by Jolly Days on YouTube. She also has an Instagram under the name Paper Spreads. I definitely recommend you guys checking out her bullet journal page. I've been obsessed with her page and her YouTube channel ever since I discovered her. She also did a chocolate theme for her February bullet journal setup, and it was so cute that I was inspired to also recreate a chocolate theme for the month of October. I'll have all of the links to her Instagram and YouTube channel in the description down below, so feel free to check out her channel after you watch this video if you want to see more chocolate themed bullet journals as well. And if you also want to recreate this chocolate theme in your bullet journal, it's actually not as hard as it seems. So the first thing that you can do to draw this chocolate bar is to also draw a really big rectangle. And once you have the overall rectangle for the chocolate bar, you can also draw a smaller rectangle within the chocolate bar, and these smaller rectangles is really going to be those individual chocolate squares that you see within the bars. Now once you have your individual chocolate squares, you can also draw an even smaller rectangle within those chocolate squares and kind of connect them to the outer chocolate square with some diagonal lines. And once you have the overall shape of the chocolate bar outlined, it's pretty simple to color it in as well. What you want to do is just go over everything with a light brown color as the base color, and then you can go over the edges and the corners of the chocolate squares with an even darker brown color, or even the same brown color to just make it a little bit darker and a little bit more pigmented. And as a bonus, you can also add a little bit of highlights to the top part of the chocolate squares, and I find that all of these little details really help to make your chocolate bar look that much more realistic. I also really like to use the white pen and add a little bit of highlights to the chocolate splash as well. I find that it really helps to give it that much more of a pop and give a little bit of highlights to make it look all that much more realistic. And as you guys can also see in this bullet journal setup, I actually switched between two different white pens, and the Uniball Signo has just been my go-to white pen. I absolutely love how smooth the ink flows and how opaque the white ink is. So if you're looking for a brand new white pen because yours isn't as opaque or the ink doesn't flow as well, I definitely recommend the Uniball Signo pen in white. Now moving on to the calendar setup for our October bullet journal, I decided to recreate a stack of chocolate bars and kind of turn that into a calendar for my bullet journal. So when I was going through Pinterest to look at some inspiration for some chocolate and chocolate bars, I came across this photo of a stacked chocolate bars on Pinterest, and the second that I saw this picture, I had the idea to kind of turn the bumps of chocolate into the days of the week into our calendar. So I really wanted to recreate the stack chocolate bars as my calendar in my bullet journal, and I really wanted to add some variation for each week of the month by adding some different styles of chocolate fillings in the chocolate bar. And one tip that I really want to give to you guys is that if ever you want to recreate any drawing that is 3D into your bullet journal, it really helps to hold your ruler and kind of keep the same angle whenever you're creating something that is in the same dimension. So for example, let's look at the top view of the chocolate bar. As you you can see here, a lot of the vertical lines have the same exact angle to them, and that's because I held the ruler to hold the same exact angle every time I'm trying to draw a vertical line in this plane. And you could also see that I used the same exact angle for all of the little dents in between the chocolate bumps, and this also helps to give that same 3D effect look to your chocolate bars as well. And to give more of a 3D look and make your chocolate bar look even more realistic, what you can do is layer on some color to add some shades and depth to your chocolate bar. So what you can do here is for the top parts of the chocolate bar, you can make it a little bit darker, and for any of the dents in between the chocolate bumps, you can leave it as the base color to make it look a little bit lighter, as if the light was reflecting on these parts. And I kind of wish I had a lot more brown colors in my Tombow brush pens, because I kind of feel that a lot of the colors I chose didn't have enough contrast to them. You could see that in some of these chocolate bars, there's not a lot of contrast, and so it's really hard to kind of make out the shapes of the chocolate bars. For example, in the second chocolate bar, I wanted to draw some chocolate with some nuts in the middle, and with the two brown colors and the black circles for the dates of the calendar, I kind of feel like all of these colors look really similar together, and if you look from far, it's really hard to make out the different shapes with this chocolate. So I kind of wish that I chose different colors for this instead, but I didn't have a lot of brown colors to work with for my Tombow brush pens, so I kind of made do with what I had and tried to make the most out of it. And speaking of not having enough colors, I really struggled to find the right colors for the third chocolate bar. I really wanted to mimic a Mars bar, so I really wanted to create that caramel layer with the nougat bottom. However, I really struggled to find the right color for caramel. I tried to mix a color of orange and brown, but it just didn't look good, so I tried to just stick with this orangish brown color, but I feel like it looks more orange than caramel like. But anyways, let me know if you think the color here looks like caramel, or if you think the colors are just completely off. And other than the attempt at recreating this Mars bar, I also tried to create two different chocolate bars with different types of nuts inside, and I also created the two different chocolate bars with different fillings inside. So this could be an idea for you if you also want to recreate this chocolate calendar in your bullet journal. You can also vary the types of filling you have inside the chocolate, and you can also vary with different types of nuts or different types of fillings inside as well. To complete the calendar setup, I just went forward and wrote all of the dates in white pen, and under the stack of chocolates, I also created a little section so I can write down any events and any important milestones as well. Also, if you ever have a brand new idea but you're scared to transfer it into your bullet journal and you're scared to make mistakes, I totally get you. Something that I like to do before doing any of that is just test it out on a separate piece of paper. I like to take the same paper from my bullet journal so I know that it's the same size and everything, and it's really convenient because you can really get a look at how it's gonna look, and you can make any adjustments before you transfer it into your bullet journal. And as you can see, I also traced everything in pencil first when I transferred to my bullet journal, so that it also gives me another second chance to also make any adjustments or any changes before I really finalize everything with a pen or markers. Now moving on to the tracker page setup for our bullet journal. I decided to try something different this month, and I actually wanted to try a time tracking spread in my bullet journal. I've never really tracked my time before, but I think it's going to be really useful because I feel that it's really easy for me to get really caught up in certain things. And I read a quote the other day how you can even burn out even if you're doing the things you love, and I really found that to be the case for me. And so I really wanted to start tracking my time and really have a more balanced lifestyle. I noticed that I also haven't been spending enough time for my own wellness, so I really just wanted to make sure that I create this time tracker and also keep track of other little things like spending time with your friends and really just making sure that I'm living a well-balanced life, because another trap that I get into is sometimes I just overwork myself way too much without even realizing until I burn out. And so I'm super excited to try out this spread for this month. I also decided to go with this layout that is inspired by the Poke snack. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this snack, but basically it's just some chocolate on a stick, and it's a snack that I've always loved ever since I was a little kid. And whenever I'm choosing themes or designs for my bullet journal, I always try to look for some things that also reflect with me and what I love in my personal life. And I'm curious to know how you guys choose your themes for your bullet journal. Let me know in the comments down below how you decide on a theme for each month. Also, I really want to thank all of you guys for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's absolutely amazing. I never thought I would actually get this much subscribers so quickly. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. It really does mean the world to me. When I started my channel, I didn't really start it because I thought I was the best at bullet journaling whatsoever. I really just wanted to have a creative outlet for me to keep track of all of the spreads that I do, and I really just wanted to share bullet journaling, which is a really big passion in my life. And I also really wanted to meet other people that's into bullet journaling as well. It's always been so fun whenever I get to talk to you guys about bullet journal layouts, or even just some new stationery that you guys really love, and we can talk about it together. So thank you guys so much for being a part of my awesome community. And to be quite honest with you guys, when I first saw that 1,000 subscribers milestone, I actually had a lot of imposter syndrome kick in. I had a lot of doubt that a lot of my videos were not that good. I had a lot of self-doubt that I would instantly lose a lot of the subscribers I gained, or sometimes I even have a fear that I would upload a video and then you guys would just see the imposter I am and think that all of my bullet journal spreads are imperfect and not amazing at all. And you know what? I know that these thoughts are completely illogical. I know that they're all in my head. Imposter syndrome has been something that I've been trying to deal with for as long as I could remember, but I just want to really thank you guys so much. You guys have really given me so much confidence. And you know what? Your bullet journal really doesn't have to be perfect. As long as your bullet journal is enough for you, that's really all that you need it to be. Also, to celebrate this amazing milestone, I also want to prepare a little event so that I can share my happiness with you guys. I don't have all of the details laid out yet, so make sure you check out my Instagram page while I have all of the details of the event laid out. Thank you guys so much for watching another one of my Plan With Me bullet journal setup videos. If you're also someone that is currently struggling with imposter syndrome, or you just feel like you're always comparing yourself to other people, make sure to check out my very first flip through of my first bullet journal. I show a lot of pages where I completely mess up and a lot of imperfect pages as well, so I hope that can give you a lot of reassurance that not every page in your bullet journal has to be perfect. So let's put our self-doubt aside for now, and I hope to see you there.